Carlmanson here from Expats Portugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show. Hola, bon dia, alegria. How are you this morning? Ooh, Harpreet, haven't seen you for a while. And Anna, where you been? Enjoying Portugal, I guess. So let's say hello to a few people on this happy hump day, everybody. And the Gumper controversy continues. Is that who we are, really? Is that what we want to call ourselves? And this bumper sticker arose yesterday. Gumpers do it every morning. Are we the people of Good Morning Portugal known as the Gumpers? Not everybody's happy about that. Let me know your thoughts about that. What's going on in your part of the world? If you're in Portugal, how's it going? How's autumn setting in for you? Have you got summer saudade already? Let's see who's here this morning. Look at this. Back reclaiming her throne. Her crown, really, as the early bird of the Good Morning Portugal show. Andrea Hogan's here, bon dia, at 7:30 this morning. Very, very good. Bon dia, you early birds. How are the worms? I'll leave Andrea to answer that. And Thunder is saying tasty. I wasn't first. Deagle had an earlier comment, but now it's gone. Yes, what happens to Deagle's comments, I wonder? Huh? Case of the disappearing first entries. Da, da, da. Feliz Carta Toros. Hey, not many 15s this morning. Oh, yeah, okay, here's one. Well done, James. Estudei 50 minutos ontem. 50? Wow, a 10 minutos até agora hoje. Very good. What time do you get up in the morning, James? Slowly getting back on track. Goal 45 to 60 minutes a day. Q. Digga, 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 digga. Very good, James. Drop and give me 5 conjugations. Bon dia, Carl. 15 minutes yesterday. Learn a new word. Amanhã. Every day at school. Yeah. Tamanhã is how ate amanhã, as I understand it, gets truncated, as in see you tomorrow. But I don't often use that one. I use all the others, don't I? Teja, te logo, te próxima. Tamanhã it tends to be the colloquial way of saying goodbye between a lot of Portuguese people. Tamanhã. Till tomorrow. Yes, was up late last night, back to night shift tonight after 4 weeks, was sick with COVID. Yeah, I forgot all about that. You're such a cheerful person. I hardly remember that you were sickly and poorly there, Deagle. So feeling better now? Obviously, in your line of work, you've got to stay out of the way when you're infected like that. And I hope you're feeling much, much better now. Done nights for 27 years last week in maternity. But 33 in total. Not quite sure what that last sentence means, but that is a lot of night shifts. How's that affected your body clock? I wonder. But I imagine in maternity, working nights, it must be quite a nice sort of culture, otherworldly almost. I mean, I think the world of midwifery is so beautiful and lovely and amazing. So much love and time for midwives and the wonderful work they do, bringing the new ones into the world. And then that subset of being up all night helping people, because something happens to human beings at night, doesn't it? We are out of our literal comfort zone, really, being up all night, whether it's to have a baby or to do anything else, and working with people who are having babies, Tico. So what's that been like for you? Tell us for a moment, if you will. It is hump day, as I said, and first Wednesday of the month, the 3rd of, what is it? November, of course, yes. 3rd of November means that it's a Wednesday and Ask Anything About Portugal Day. The first Wednesday, of course, the magnificent Heronius Maximus. That's his Roman centurion name. Michael Heron to you and I. Deagle McKillen, have you graduated to the School of Language only? Or are you still in the School of Everything New like me? 4 weeks here on Saturday. How's that going for you, James? You know how when we have presidents coming, or I say when you Americans have presidents coming in, and you do the first 100 days, first 4 weeks is significant, isn't it? A month here in Portugal. How is that for you? Let us know more, if you will. And Anna, Bon dia all from Olyao. I thought it was too quiet here in the mornings, and I realized I missed your energy. So something was missing. There was a Good Morning Portugal shaped hole in the picture there. So here we are back in your life, Anna. And is that a picture of you in your new home or around or nearby your new home with that beautiful sunlight? Beautiful picture of you. Thank you, Anna Olsen, for joining us this morning. Jim's here as well, everybody. Bon dia, Carl, Michael, and everyone from a cold, rainy Wiesbaden, Germany. Oh. Bon dia a todos. Feels like ages. Been a busy guy. 15 minutes driving, so won't be so chatty in the comments till I'm back from the airport. Oh, I see. Hope you all are great. You know that, Francis. They are a great bunch, aren't they? Hola, bon dia, GMP friends. He's not using the phrase gumper, is he? But James is. Gumpers! And Harpreet Singh saying hi as well. Hello, Harpreet. I think maybe you're getting ready to ask Michael a question. He'll be with us around 9 o'clock, everybody, okay? Bon dia, alegria todos. Currently on the phone for work. Did my 15 today. Well done. So really, you all have been very, very good, and you deserve one of these, don't you? Well, I suppose the day begins with one of these. Well, have you? Did you do your 15 minutes of Portuguese? And that look from Mia there, and if you did, you get one of these from Filipina. Muito bem, muito bem. Very good, everybody. That's great, that picture, isn't it? I don't know if she's happy about this one. She said to me, Carl, that was just for you. So I'm not sure if that is going to make the calendar coaster set or whatever as we do, but that's pretty good, isn't it? Sometimes we need to be told. Well, certainly, Philomena feels the need to tell me. I don't mind. Capricorn 12 is here with an hola bon dia. I'm looking forward to the Jazz Funk Classic for the day. I want to know about newborn kids' residency status in Portugal. Parents are still waiting for their residency. As in what you are, or you're wondering? I mean, have you gone and registered that you're newborn at the registry office? You go and do that at the town hall. That's a good start. And then really, they're a Portuguese person, aren't they? Bon dia a todos from Ron in Cascais. Memorize 15 done. 15 minutes. Well done, Ron. Fantastic. Elra's here as well. Morning all. How are you, Elra? Tudo bem? Or do you prefer como estás? And phone call is done. I'm all ears. And when people say I'm all ears, it conjures up quite an image, doesn't it, of somebody who is literally all ears. And you would think they'd be able to listen. Somebody like that would be a good listener. Nights are just my life, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. So you're just completely used to it, Deagle, right? Usually go to bed 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 nights over a fortnight, but the days off, you plan to do things. Life is very organized. As you know, it's your free time. Okay, so that's the payoff. That's the compromise, is it? I don't know if it's compromise, maybe too strong a word, but if you work an unusual pattern, I suppose society repays you by giving you, excuse me, what might be an advantageous day off pattern. I know when I used to work for a charity that had a site, it was a site that people could visit in Devon. I used to work the weekends, and I would have Monday, Tuesday off, which I loved, because when you live in a tourist part of the world, if you're out and about on Monday and Tuesday, your grackles aren't getting in the way. So that sounds like it works really well for you. So go to bed at 11:30 in the morning until 6 in the evening. That's quite amazing. So you have to create a blackout bedroom. I'm fascinated. My dad was a policeman and worked in security later in his life, and he was often doing nights. And I think he quite liked it and got used to it. It's a different world, isn't it, at night, certainly. And in the early morning, it's different. And then being asleep during the day, that's a funny one as well, isn't it? And all the kids have to be quiet, don't they? But kids are at school, I guess, or grown up or whatever. So maybe not such an issue. And you have to create a blackout in the bedroom there to make your body believe that it is the nighttime. Amazing. Thank you for that, Deagle, that insight into your life there. I was always a curious and interested student, so loving being in school every day now, and absolutely loving finally being in Portugal after 18 months of waiting. Maybe you could join us on a Thursday, James, and we could talk to you. And we have Nick Robinson tomorrow. Oh, we've got the Ask Our Expats team at 7:30 for a bit of a chat with those guys and gals there. And be careful saying that now. And they will be with us from 7:30 until 9. And, of course, the Expats Portugal Plan Q&A troubleshoot from 9 o'clock. And then in the morning, Nick Robinson, the Algarve addict. But maybe next Thursday, James, you could join us and tell us about your journey. I'm sure it will be interesting. And, of course, would involve banana slugs. Fiat slug, as the motto of your is it called an alma mater? From where you are an ex-student, a graduate. Where is? Let me read that. Santa Cruz, the University of California in Santa Cruz. There. Bon dia, Gumpers. It's sticking as far as Owen's concerned. Hello, mate. How are you? Ron, do you want to join the GMP Memrise group? Yeah, don't forget, Matty, please put the link in for that. I must join that as well. That'll be another angle, wouldn't it, on the learning? And confession from me, I absolutely deserve one of these. I haven't been doing my learning in these last few days, so I get a slap on the forehead like that. Not literally from, well, maybe it might come to that, mightn't it? Who knows? Mea culpa, everybody. Hola, bon dia, kids, from Victoria. She prefers kids to gumpers, I think. Peter Bleach is here. Senor Bleach. Bon dia, amigos. And my gimp suit enthusiast, Carl. He keeps trying with that, doesn't he? Never seen someone so enthusiastic about the rubber. Pete, get your ears checked. His gumpers. Umpers. Bon dia, Carl. Y a todos managed another 30 minutes or so of Dua and Memrise yesterday. Also recorded module 4 of Gregor disgracefully. Wow, what a guy. The detailed technique of running. Hope our students enjoy. Nice one, Coach Turner. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the Hollywood movie called Coach Turner. It'll be a mixture, won't it, of Baywatch, Rocky, and Coach Carter, I think. Elra Linda, nice one, Ian. Looking forward to working on those. I used to do night shifts, says Elra, in IT support and hotel reception. Best time to work, in my humble opinion. Yeah, that's what I mean. When you get used to it, the world is different, isn't it? The world is a different place. And you feel like the rest of the world are muggles in a way, and you're the nighttime person, right? Operating in a different way, a different zone, a different mindset. Victoria, Coach Turner's into the old man cave shouting business, isn't he? And yeah, Ian Turner, well done. If you want to join the GMP Memrise group, do let me know. So pop the link in there if you will, Matty, and a thumbs up from Ian to you. Carl, I cannot paste the link in YouTube. Only you can. Oh, okay. Well, send it to me then if you will. You probably already have done on the WhatsApp. Mike, keep your phone connected. I think it is, everybody. And a fresh morning in Belfast. I'm going to start doing, I've got to find my weather page because I've got to start doing the Portuguese weather. But thank you for the Belfast weather report there. Thank you very much, Deagle. And Dougie's in the country. Dougie Hughes of the look, just to prove it. This is the signature site, really, of somebody who's just landed in Portugal, is it not? Thank you for this, Doug. He said he was going to come and see me, and then he just got off to the Algarve to see Frank. Fair enough, none taken, Doug. Maybe you will return this way, and I'll get to see you, and we'll get to share one of these. Well, we'll have one each. We don't need to share a pastel de nata and a coffee, do we? But there's Doug's. Doug was saying this. Who can recognize that serviette logo there? Okay, so I won't tell you where he got it from just for now, but he said it was extremely good, and surprisingly so, given the venue. If you just take a look at that logo on the serviette there, can you tell where that pastel de nata cafe? What it was, Cafe Nata, where that Cafe Nata came from, do let me know in the comments if you will. So, yes, now that I've whet your appetites and made you hungry for a pastel de nata, I'll take that off the screen. Who else has been sending pictures in this morning? So thank you for that, Dougie. Come back to that. And all will be revealed about where you bought it on your travels around Portugal. He loves being here. He really does. Lots of annoying cocks in Portugal, he says. They keep waking me up at the onset of dawn. No wonder it's an emblem. Get used to it. Old cock in the morning, Dougie. He's from Wales. I mean, what wakes him up in the morning? Sheep, I suppose. Michael Heron here at, he would be giggling by now, wouldn't he, if he was with me? Michael Heron here from around 9 o'clock. May well be on the school run this morning. So the Memrise group, here's the link, folks. You can't do a right click on a WhatsApp link either. You have to do some manual Control-C business as well. I'm getting quite adept, aren't I, with this keyboard and technology stuff, aren't I? Now I know how to do. I might just give you an A with an accent on it for the fun of it, and just to show you that I can. But there's the Memrise group. Thank you, Matty, for doing that. Do appreciate it. That's the link in Memrise. Okay, I don't know what I've just put in there then, but this is still. What is this? Hold on. Still looks useful. Cheers, Matty. Expatsportugal.com/community. Learning the language Portugal. Okay, yeah, very good. That must be the group link. And then I think Matty's just sent me a shorter version of it as well. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to have a quick look. Let's open it up and take it. Oh no, can't do that. I'm not actually signed up for Memrise. I thought I was going to ease straight in there. Let me know how that goes. That big link that I've just put in there. And actually, I don't know if you can cut and paste that. We might have to find a different way of doing that. And Matty may well have already put it in the forum, of course. Okay, as an apology to Pete there. What's that about, I wonder? We'll go back to that in just a moment. And bon dia from Pamela, who will be here. More good news for you, Pam. I'll be sending you an email after the show. And Pam, of course, I'm hoping. Can you confirm, Pam, that you'll be with us from 7:30 tomorrow on the Ask Our Expats gathering that we do on the first Thursday of every month alongside these other illustrious individuals? There we go. Let me take a comment off the screen. I always forget about that when I'm knocking these things up. I'll tell you what it says underneath the ticker tape. Ask Our Expats. What is that? Ask Our Expats question in the comments now. Yes, that's it. Well done, Carl. Ask the people who live here. So if you're not here yet and you would like to ask a question of somebody who lives here, or in the case of Anna in the middle there, somebody who's been here her whole life. She's our honorary expat because she's not really an expat. She's a Portuguese. What's the female version? A Portuguese with an A on the end, I'm going to go with for now until I've thought that through. Yeah, we've got Pam there on the left, Maria, Anna, Sally, and Thomas. Other Ask Our Expats are available. And I suspect that brace of Ask Our Expats folks will be here tomorrow evening from 7:30. Certainly hope so. And we'll be having, because Astrid will be with us. Thank you, Mrs. M. Cup of coffee and a loving look. Hello. And she's really broken my stride there. I forgot what I was talking about. The loving glance, eye to eye. Huh? Of course you could say, hold on. Let me just take this off the screen. Hold on. She's put a spanner in my works. There she is. Some beauty on the screen for you for a change. Thank you very much. Coffee, kiss, loving glance. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you very much for that.
Talking about intimacy on my show this morning.
Oh, were you? Okay. She's talking about intimacy as well. Steady on. I've got a show to do. And the immortal words of Homer Simpson. I've got to make love to my wife. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Or something like that. She's really thrown me there, folks. Bon dia, Victoria. And am I flushing up red as well? Bon dia, Victoria. How did you find the Danish comedy at horror? Well, that's not a question you get asked every morning, is it? Hi, Ian. We'll be walking slowly today. Had a bit of a night. So Danish comedy and a bit of a night. Danish comedy horror and a bit of a night, Victoria. What an exciting life you live. Bon dia de Norfolk. Frio y humido. So damp and cold in Norfolk this morning. Mark, you're a bit of a mystery man. I love it getting your greetings from Norfolk. Are you on your way here? Would you care to answer? Would you care to be probed by me this morning on that? Jersey P, hola, bon dia, Carl. How are you doing, mate? And how many beers have you got in front of you there? Was it last orders or something like that? That's a great picture, isn't it? Loads of ashtrays as well. It looks like you're going to spark something up any minute. And one very big beer and another one in the hand. Very well prepared for, looks like an afternoon out there. Might be even the morning, actually. Jean is here as well. Bon dia, todos. What's this word mean? Desasset dias at Portugal. Oh, okay. So that's 17 days, isn't it? Is that right? Oh dear. See, that's how poor. I've really exposed. I set up this 15 minutes a day thing, and I can't even get a basic number like that. It's the rabbit in the headlights. I promise you. Bon dia, everyone. Our child went back to school Monday. Now bunged up with a cold. Oh yes, of course. When the kids return to school, they bring home gifts, don't they? It's like the old infection party bag comes home as a present. Pete might have something to say about this, but for teachers in September, they're running the old infection gauntlet on, and then the kids, of course, mixing it up together. Then, because they don't worry about things like washing their hands, they probably do now, don't they? But they're all mixing it up there, and then they come home with someone else's germs to give to the parents. Marvelous, happy times. But supposedly how we build up our immunity to these things as well. So hope you're okay, Simon, in the casa right there, and that you're doing whatever you do to deal with that. But colloidal silver, onion boiled in honey, or whatever it was I was told to do the other day, Dr. Bayard's, whatever gets you through. Sounds like more fun. Pray tell, Victoria, what did you get up to? Yes, good question, Pete. I wonder if you will. And Eusebio is here. Bon dia, meus tugas aspirantes. That's great. I do like that phrase. That could be on our insignia, on the Agumpa insignia, couldn't it? The tugas aspirantes, the aspiring Portuguese there. Very, very good. That's an excellent phrase. Sounds great, Victoria. That's why we train, to balance the good times. It is, and that is what the whole growing old disgracefully grey watch thing is about. Of course, not to become horsehair shirt wearing monks who thrash ourselves with nettles as we age and feel bad about it. Certainly not. No, thrice nay. It's about living a great full life, isn't it? So not neglecting fitness and health, taking it on board, making an effort in that department, and enjoying a few glasses of whatever floats your boat, and having a great life, holistically speaking. That nails it there, Coach Turner. Balancing the good times and a bit of health and fitness. The hard part of working the night shift, says Jim, is on your days off, deciding whether to continue your same sleeping pattern during the day. Yes, I guess you get a bit of a crunch, don't you? Or trying to fit back into a normal sleeping awake cycle. Yeah, so another one there. It's funny, isn't it? You ask one question here on the Good Morning Portugal show, and others come out. Yes, I did that. And Thunder. Thunder and I have been. I need a cup of something. I need a sip of something now, and this is the moment to try out that jingle. Well, it's more than a jingle. It's a little kind of ident patch between segments of the program. But thing is, Thunder, I'm trying to download it now, and it's not happening for some reason. I wonder why that is. So that lovely work you made.
Por favor, espere.
Hold on a minute. That suddenly burst through. So I'm gonna play that for you in just a moment, while I take a sip of the lovely coffee that Mrs. M just brought in to me, and embarrassed me a little bit on air with her rather effusive affection and intimacy there on screen. I hope that didn't put anybody off their breakfast. Okay, so let me just add that to the screen whilst I take a sip of the aforementioned coffee. Where are my videos? She's really discombobulated me, that woman, this morning. And what is that I'm looking at there? That is actually Praia de Rocha. That's not the new coffee sipping jingle bit that goes in the middle. That came from Victoria yesterday, before the rains came in. That's a superb video, is that? And but this one I've got for you now. I particularly like the wind in that. You don't associate those winds, that the winds that whistle through the what they call the masts of the boats. It's when the wind is talking to you. Do you hear that bit at the end? Very evocative and very calm. Well, not even the calm before the storm. The storm is some way into the bay at that point, and it's all getting quite exciting. How did that end, Victoria? On that day, did it really pee down soon after that? So here's my moment. So instead of making you watch me drink coffee while the microphone is muted, so that you don't have to hear the slurping sounds, we got this now.
Por favor, espere.
Carlos está tomando uma bebida.
Please stand by.
Carlos taking a drink.
I think that works very well. I managed to take a drink and hide all of that from you. It's like the old cough button that DJs have. That's why they don't tend to cough on air, because they've got a button to spare you that indignity. Okay, Pete, sorry. The weekly social bumped the movie from the schedule, and another event tonight. Victoria's having a time of her life down there in the Algarve. Word in from the Heronius Maximus. He will be joining us soon. He's in a bit of Lisbon traffic. Don't get that in my part of the world, Heron. I have to leave early today in about 20 minutes. Errands to run. Yes, Wednesdays. I think we're getting a sense of people's lifestyles here. I've noticed a bit of a pattern here. Thunder does like to do a few errands on a Wednesday. And that was the link in the... Oh, I see. That was my own link to my own website there, which I didn't notice. But thank you very much for that. Okay, so that's good. It is in the Expats Portugal forum, is the link to memorize. I've already lost it. And some have been saying that for quite a long time now, that I've already lost it. But where's that thing gone? And I think comments have gone missing, because there is now a jazz funk track classic in there from Capricorn. Oh, no, here we go. The expatsportugal.com. That's me, isn't it? That's my own website, that not Memrise. So if you go into the forum, anything/community is the Expats Portugal forum. But there you go, learning-the-language-Portugal. And you will get that will lead you towards Memrise, or just search for Memrise in the forum. That'll be a quick way of finding it. Thank you very much for that, Matty. Do appreciate that. Right, the prof has spoken. Everybody, Prof Eusebio is here, MCWT, today in Portuguese history, 2005, so quite recently. This is great. Lisbon hosted the MTV European Music Awards at the Pavilion Atlântico. Where is that then? Is that what the Altis Arena was called previously? The show was opened by a leotard-clad Madonna. Remember it well. Actually, I don't. But that sounds like a magical moment. 2005, and leotard-clad Madonna opening up the European Music Awards, hosted Lisbon hosted that, the MTV European Music Awards. Pavilion Atlântico, is that now the Altis Arena where the Web Summit is taking place, or about to take place? We should be talking about that, shouldn't we? Great big event that's coming. Maybe we can get somebody on from Web Summit. Anybody from this community got an interest in Web Summit? Yes, second is directly from Memrise. So there you go. That is I'll put that in now then, Matty. Thank you very, very much for that. The actual Memrise app link coming up now. If I cut and paste it, not the easiest thing to do from WhatsApp, actually. But I will do that for you now. That's going into the comments. So more people in there. Anyone who's on Memrise is not a member of that group might like to be. And are they at an unfair disadvantage now, Matty? You're storming ahead, aren't you, with the amount of hours you've done on Memrise? Is it weighted so that they can prove that they are doing a certain amount a day, or are you just caning them with your achievement there? Yikes, Algarve, yikes, Ian, Algarve life, says Victoria. Yes, I think you are embodying Grey Watch, Grey Old disgracefully in the Algarve there, Victoria. And it's so brilliant, actually, just thinking back for a moment, how you were once tuning into the show, joining us on the Man Cave, and now you're here in Portugal. It's amazing. So perhaps maybe a Thursday morning, the Move to Portugal special, you should be joining us as well, if you don't mind, if you'd be up for that. I'm sure a lot of people would like to meet you on the screen in that way. And so if you're free, next Thursday, it's now a fight between James and Victoria to get on first. But I would love to talk to you on screen and about your move to Portugal. That'd be awesome, Victoria. Look, never mind the quality, feel the width. Which is another thing I often say in my daily life. Worst working patterns for me were 12-hour change shifts. Day one so they were 12-hour shifts, and they were changing by the sound of it. 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. Then day 2, 6 in the evening until 6 in the morning. Day 3 off, and then start day 4. So, okay, you get some good days off with that. But, I need to, do I need my jingle again? You need some good days off. But that's a bit of a killer, that, isn't it? Did you ever adjust to that, Matty? That sounds awful. I think the correct term for a Portuguese is a Joel. Yes. But that's not actually a very popular Portuguese name, is it? He's a one-off, that man, in so many ways. I don't think I've ever met another Joel in Portugal. Is it Rui and Joel, possibly? Yeah, maybe 2 that I've come across in my time here. So a Joel. But we can't all call ourselves Joels, because I don't want those Spartacus moments. I am Joel. No, I am Joel. Problem with last night is that it began in the afternoon. Yes. Yes. Very good, Victoria. I take my hat off to you. Did you take that off to yourself that you're wearing in the picture there? You're a legend, aren't you? Let's face it. So a good old sesh by the sound of it that started yesterday afternoon. And maybe you only finished a few hours ago. Good for you. After 1 week. And so walking slowly along the beach this morning. Bon dia. You get a really loud bon dia in that condition. It's not going to be great, is it? Hola, bon dia. So have a good day, Victoria. After 1 week, I did not know if I worked day or night. Yeah, so that it sounded like you never did adjust to that one. But was that 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening? Day 2, 6 in the evening till 6 in the morning. Day 3 off, and then starting on day 4 again, 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. What sort of work was that, I wonder? You don't have to say. Jazz funk track of the day, everybody. Gotta have some horns or something for this. A jazz funk track of the day, or the beginning of Jamaica funk. Wouldn't it be great? There's something from the canon of tracks that you share with us. But then I'll get banned off YouTube if I do that. One of my favorites. Love the intro and love the whole track. The group Side Effect, the track Midnight Lover. And of course, that is part of the Grey Watch, growing old disgracefully regime. Bit of the old Midnight Lover as well. Beer is my weak spot. Thank you for that, Capricorn 12, by the way. Beer is my weak spot. As we can see, well, what's weak about that? I'm sure I've got you down as quite a strong drinker, actually, Jersey. Nothing weak about you. Good morning from the crispy, sunny Portugal this morning, Abel Pinheiro. And do you have a Scottish accent or a Portuguese accent? How far back are your Portuguese roots, Abel? Are you very Scottish, if you see what I mean? Or are you kind of hybrid in your accent of Portuguese and Scottish? Because I would like to hear that. If you want to send a message through, and say hi to us in that hybrid accent, if that's indeed what you have, or the extremely trustworthy Scottish accent. You know this, don't you? With voices in call centers and so on, or I suppose voiceovers in advertising. Scottish accent is a very trustworthy one, isn't it? And so maybe we need to get able to do a few jingles for us. I'm trying to put on the screen how to do that. So let me do that. Let me get my ducks in a row here. Some of you already know this, but for those of you who don't, we can accept pictures and voice messages. We don't get many voice messages, and that's probably a good thing in some ways. But pics, voice messages, and even videos, of course, if you've seen this morning, the pre-storm video from Victoria, it through to 913-590-303. And that'll be 351, the code, if you are outside of Portugal. Okay, that's the WhatsApp number for the Good Morning Portugal show. 351 913-590-303. Ask anything about Portugal coming up today because it's Wednesday, and Heronius Maximus will be here to help me out answering those questions. Okay, and so back to Abel. I wonder if you have one of those very trustworthy. I think the Irish accent as well, similarly so. Not sure about the Welsh accent or the Brummies or the Cockneys. I think the Scots have it, don't they, with the trustworthiness. Hi, it's Maria Costa, super host NYC, using an old profile. You're going to be with us tomorrow night, Maria. I showed you a picture earlier on. Be great. It's always great when you're on the Ask Our Expats calls because you can talk to people about some real nice niches. Of course, you are the proprietor of one or two Airbnbs in the Tamar area. So you've got a lot to say about that because there are people coming over who want to do the same sort of thing, and you may well be able to help them in a breakout room tomorrow night from 7:30. You've got to register. It's becoming more and more popular. Go to the website, look up webinars up and coming, and then you'll be able to register yourself for that. Premium members get priority on that, and so they should. They help and support us, and in kind, we reward them by saying, yes, your name is on the list. Come right in. Mark, Carl, to me, this is, yes, of course. I think it's to this Carl anyway. Yes, aim to be in Portugal. Yes, it is during summer 2022. Plans moving forward, getting everything lined up to make it as smooth as possible, allowing for all the hiccups. Very good. If you ever want to compare notes, Mark, then I'm not the person to do that with. I've breezed in pre-Brexit. Very lucky and very pleased to have done that. But in the broader team here, we've got some people who can help if you need that sort of help, notably on the Expats Portugal plan, of course. But sounds like from what I see there, you've got it all under control and you're planning to be here next summer. That's great news. Gary Orgles is here as well. Bon dia. Wow, a full hour with a Mia class. Well done, Gary. That's good news. Well done. Good effort. You get some of this. Let me take your comment off the screen so that we can see the full glory of Philomena saying to you, my friend, muito bem, muito bem. Nice thumbs up there from Philomena. And not the look. Mia, it's misplaced. The man like Gary Orgles, give him a break. He has done 4 lots of your 15 minutes there on your very own platform. Calm down, dear. Okay, and who else is here this morning that I may have missed? Ha, so cute. What was? Pity the Portuguese part is Brazilian. What's that? Is that what we're talking about with duo? Duos gets a bit of stick for that, doesn't it? So what did I miss there? Are you talking about a duo there, Elra? And Pierre is here with some VR goggles on, or flying a drone and being able to see the drone eye view with the headset on there. That's exciting. Where are you? What rocks are you standing atop there, Pierre? Good morning, all. As EU citizens, what do we need to register with the Centro de Saúde? You need... Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, we'll give that to Michael as soon as he arrives. I mean, I think you need to prove you're an EU citizen and have your ID. And that might be a combo. I mean, you know, I think it's best to take more than you need on, and we say this, don't we? And I think it's true. People have found this to be true. Take everything you possibly can in terms of proving your identity. And from a bureaucratic point of view, Pierre, you want to be able to prove who you are. You want to prove that you are an EU citizen, so that you can get your Portuguese health number, the SNS number, which is, I assume, what you're looking for there. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all you need as an EU citizen. Prove that you are one. Prove that you are who you say you are, because it may be that your registration, your residency document, has your name on it, but not your photo ID. So that needs to be tied up. You need to be able to prove that you are who you are saying you are on your residency if there's no photo on there. Everything else, take everything else, that just to create a full picture of you are who you are, and you are on official business as you suggest when you're in said office. Reminded me a little of Protect and Survive, Carl. Maybe the so cute was me taking a drink and me being able to be modest and preserve my dignity and not slurp beverages in front of you. Reminding me a little of Protect and Survive, Carl. Should I put the doors and the pillows back here? Sorry if that triggered you, Pete. Fond memories of Garbo's lunchtime zombies are coming in Al Viagra. Wow, that sounds like a great weekend you had over there, Pete. Sir Lion H, don't often see you, but how are you? Bon Dia Alegria, show starts earlier now. Yes, it does. It still goes on to 10 o'clock. The idea was to have an hour-long show starting earlier, maybe 8 till 9. Turns out we start at 8:30 and go on till 10 most days. Luckily, as you can see, it hasn't affected Mrs. M too much, judging by this morning's behavior. Alternatively, search for Memrise in the forums. There you go, as I suggested, and that's a great idea. Great minds thinking alike there, Matty. Never come across a town that has a zombies are coming siren, just to call everyone to lunch before. Boy, do they take it seriously. Okay, Pete, what Pete I think is talking about there, and this threw me, I have to say, when we first were in San Martinho de Porto 4 years ago, and that is the at midday every day. The bomberos are testing their siren. But if that hasn't been explained to you, yes, as Pete suggests there, you might think the zombie apocalypse has begun. And, start hiding under the table or getting your double-barrel shotgun out or whatever. No, quite normal in Portugal to be testing the siren at midday. And it also, as Pete says, it doubles as the call to lunch, the call to mesa at midday. And a very good service that is too. Oh, I think Michael Heron is limbering up in the green room. We'll be here in a moment. And I haven't had my haircut. Did you notice the other day? He just came on to say Carl needs a haircut. I'll have a word with him about that in a minute. So a smiley face from Simon. And Louise is here. She's got a new video out, everybody. Solo 50 plus expat Portugal. She's got a new video out. She's been quite prolific actually recently, putting those vids up. Bon dia, everyone. You might get all sorts in the comments today. The cats keep walking over the keyboard. Yes, how lovely. And putting their bottom in your face, I suspect, because that's what they do, isn't it? Such is their disrespect to those creatures. I was thinking about this morning, about cat people and dog people. And then the subset of that, so are you a cat person or are you a dog person? And if you've got a dog, do you have a dog or a bitch? And maybe I shouldn't use that phrase. I should say male or female, just to avoid any sort of confusion. And then the same with a cat. If you're a cat person, do you like a male cat or a female cat? And I was thinking to myself, as I was looking at Jimmy Choo and some of his antics when we're out for a walk in the morning, look at him and I think to myself, this is why I normally get lady dogs. You are such an idiot sometimes, Jimmy. And I am a dog person and I prefer a female dog. What does that say about me? I mean, that's as probably as compliant as you could wish for in a pet, right? Whereas a male cat, I think, is psychologically speaking, the owner of a male cat is somebody who likes the rebellious, admires the rebellious, the do what you want sort of character that walks all over a keyboard and puts their butt in your face. Talking of which, Michael Heron, everybody.
That's a lovely introduction. Mate, I'm so sorry. I hadn't realised this starts at 8:30 now. I had no idea. So I only thought I was a few minutes late. But I've seen you've been streaming.
Oh,
for like 40 minutes.
I'm your warm up man. It's fine. It's lovely to be here for the first half.
You're my fluffer.
I was going to say that, but I thought I can't say that. That would be so rude. But there you go. You said it instead. I am.
I do the hard work for you, mate, as well. Literally.
Little underarm there to you, and you knocked it out the park this morning. How are you? How are you
I'm
doing?
good, mate. I'm good. How are you? How are you? I've seen you still haven't got a haircut yet.
I often at these in the last few weeks think about you as I look in the mirror, and I don't mean that in a creepy way. Ooh, Michael, no, I think I must get my haircut after you came in one morning. I think that was all you said.
I know, it was horrible. It was horrible. I just came in and just dropped the bomb and left. I don't know. Have you frozen, or is it me? I think Carl's gone. I think Carl may have left us, or it's me. I don't know whose connection has gone. But yeah, as I was saying, I was taking the mickey out of Carl's hair. I don't know what everyone thinks of it, but I think it actually looks quite smart on him. It actually looks quite smart, and I'm enjoying his cardigan. Well, good morning, everyone. I don't know if people can hear me or if it's Carl that's gone, but it's great to be with you all. I'm sure Carl will be back very soon. Please feel free to ask me any questions that you want at all about Portugal. Yeah, he's gone, Iris. He's definitely gone. I think he's probably done it on purpose. To teach me a lesson. But there we go. But I'm not sure what he was talking about with the animal chat. Was he saying that if you were a male, if you were a man that owned a male cat, that meant you enjoyed men that were rebellious? Yes, hi Rebel Mama. Hi Jim White. Very nice to see you too. Antonio's saying that we've got the first snow this season in Serra da Estrela. You know, I've never been there before. I've been in Portugal for 7 years and I've never been to Serra da Estrela, and I probably should go because I've heard it's the only part of Portugal where it snows. So I'm very much looking forward to taking my son, especially who's 5, who has never been, he's never seen snow before. Hi, Victoria Benson. It is my show now. Yes, I think it is. I think Carl has officially handed in his P45. So I'm enjoying that. And Solo 50 Plus, yeah, we can definitely chat amongst ourselves. Why not? Let's definitely do that. By the way, apologies that you may not be able to see your messages, your chat messages coming in, just because I'm just a guest. I'm not actually hosting the show today. Carl has left the building. Okay. Mate, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. It's a shame you've had to come back.
What has he been saying, everybody? You know, in those immortal words, that's never happened to me before, that was really bizarre. I thought it was just going to be a little pause. You know, sometimes it does come in and out with the Wi-Fi, but that was quite a long loss of connection.
People were laughing in the comments. People thought you'd gone, and they were laughing. I mean, I didn't know what I said in those 3 minutes, but we were talking. Actually, no, we were talking about, just so you don't repeat the comments, because obviously I realized people can't see the messages coming in, but there were a few people talking about the snow, and I was just saying that I've never been to Serra da Estrela before. Yeah, mate, we were having a proper chat while you were away. We're talking about.
Hold on a minute. You've been enjoying the snow in Portugal?
No, someone mentioned, because the weather's going to drop massively over the next week or so, and there's a part in Portugal called Serra da Estrela where it snows. Okay, and I was just saying, my son, who's 5, has never seen snow before, so I was appreciating people giving me the heads up. Anyway, back over to you, mate.
But no, not at all. You're doing a fine job. I just had to go and make sure that the children hadn't cut through the Wi-Fi cables or something like that. But in other parts of the house, the loss of Wi-Fi was being similarly mourned. You don't realise what you've got till it's gone, do you? Especially when it comes to your fibre connection. So no, yeah, good to be back. We've done the how are you bit, haven't we? I think we moved on.
Yeah. We were talking about your hair, and this was something else we were talking about
yes,
off there as well. I took
Yeah.
a moment to discuss that with the audience very briefly.
What's any sort of styles or anything that
No,
suggests?
it's amazing how many topics we got through in 3 minutes. It's a good job. It's a good job you came back. I think we would have run out very quickly.
It's a good job. You're such a pro.
Not at all.
So Michael Heron is here. I'm back. I'm glad to say I'm back again. Ask anything about Portugal Day here on the Good Morning Portugal show, and we do have a little bit of a ticker tape for that somewhere, which I will find for you. But yeah, this is what we do on a Wednesday. Is give you the chance to ask anything about Portugal, and there it is. There's your ticket. I've got so many now. Seriously, ask anything about Portugal. #AAAP. So yeah, well, I'm gonna have to go and get my Barnet done, and I did see some older photographs of myself, thinking I used to look like I had an owner, and I've got a bit bushy, both in beard and Barnet, and it needs sorting out. And the question that comes to mind is like, do I go to a hairdresser's, because I mix it up a bit. Sometimes it's to a hairdresser, sometimes it's to a traditional barber. I don't know if we've had this conversation before. Which is your preference?
Mate, I don't think anyone cares, but we'll plow on. We'll plow on. Well, it's interesting because I discovered that where I used to work, which is, for those who know Lisbon, it's like Amoreiras, which is like the business district. There was a really old school, old-fashioned barbers in the Amoreiras shopping centre, and it was a little bit expensive, but you get the whole paraphernalia like treatment where they, basically they wash, clean your shoes, do everything anything you want, really. Not everything, but pretty much everything. And you get given a cup of coffee, whatever. And it's a great networking opportunity because a lot of the sort of the elite in business, shall we say, get their haircut there. So for me, it was actually a networking opportunity. I used to talk to a lot of people when I get my haircut there. And luckily, my barber, I kept his number. And then during the pandemic, he would come over and cut my hair for me. So he's been doing that for the last 2 years.
That's
so
incredible.
I haven't gone back. Yeah, and it's cheaper for him to come over, and it's obviously better for
Really?
him. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So
He hasn't got any overheads anymore.
well, I think he still works for the barbers, but it just works out better for him to do the odd sort of private job, which I'm sure he declares. I'm sure he declares it.
You hasten to add. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that sounds great. I mean, not so great that you don't get the networking opportunity in your front room anymore, or the kitchen, or wherever it happens. But that sounds proper gangster in a way, like men mingling at the barbers. Because when this is a little insight into the world of barbers. Men go, I think, to get their haircut, not just to get their haircut, but to have a bit of a break and a breather. Oh, poor men! And you are waiting around for quite a long time, aren't you? And that's where the networking can take place. Because sometimes you might be waiting more than you're actually having your haircut, and therein lies the good opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, honestly, mate, like one time there was like the chairman of one of like the biggest banks in Portugal was just sitting next to me because his barber happens to sit next to mine. Yeah, so my barber would then tell me who were the people that would go, because you know what it's like, right? You find your barber. You go to a barber, there's 10 barbers, but there's your barber, your personal barber, who you always treat your hair, right? So he would say to me, oh yeah, so because I cut my client's hair next to this guy, and he's like the old school guy. He's been here for like 20 years. So all the big wigs get their hair cut next to him. So if I cut your hair, yeah. No, we're playing on words here, mate. That's not the most appropriate pun for this. And so he used to tell me like, oh, if you get your hair cut on this day, this guy will be here and this sort of thing. So I used to take advantage of it.
Extraordinary. Come on, you say you don't think anyone cares. I think that's an amazing nugget of information, and that's this is the sort of it's all very well having LinkedIn, but that's old school LinkedIn, isn't it? Meeting at the barbers, meeting the people you need to meet, and actually the barber tipping people off who's going to be there.
People are relaxed, right, in that situation, and you can't get away. So if I start talking to you, you're stuck there for 25 minutes, whether you like it or not. You can't make excuses. No one has ever left to get up halfway through a haircut.
It would have to be some really terrible networking, wouldn't it, to want to leave halfway through a haircut? You'd probably sit it out. Yeah.
But honestly, I think I used to find out more about Portugal and about the economy and politics through my barber than anyone else.
It's true. It's true. These are the folks, and I've recommended this before. It's the taxi driver.
Exactly. I was going to
the-
say it's the taxi driver and it's the barber. I think they're the two. If you can get into a good habit of chatting to them, then you will get golden nuggets of information. You will find out
Yeah.
things you won't find out in mainstream media because they talk to everyone.
They do, and there's the other occasional shopkeeper who might be the tobacconist, newspaper, lottery ticket, scratch card person, jogo person,
Yeah.
Rashpartin, we could call him, couldn't I? So that's another good person. Nelson comes to mind here in San Martino de Porto. Great corner shop. He fixed me up with a hire car. He was really helpful when I was first in Portugal. He drove me to Caldas de Rainha one day.
Nice.
Out of the goodness of his heart, and it's a guy who runs a busy shop, absolutely brilliant. So those are the people. If you weren't up to speed on that as a kind of expat world traveler, definitely get to know a local taxi driver, because when they're ferrying you about, if you haven't got a vehicle, or just for the luxury and the convenience of it, going into the next biggest town or whatever, or from one side of town to the other, you are going to get these nuggets of information from a taxi driver as you are sat in the barber or hairdresser's chair as well, or when you go and get your morning paper. And I suppose similarly, there'll be certain waiting staff, won't there, in cafes as well, who are a bit more friendly. Often the proprietor, or somebody who's been in the trade for a long time, knows that it's right to talk to customers in the way that the younger people who are moving on might not necessarily know. But that's great intel for furnishing your life as an expat in Portugal. Very good. And what's the name of that barber in Amoreiras?
I think it's called Bento Cavalheiro.
So it's
BC for short.
And that's not an easy word to say. I was trying to say it the other day. The women's hairdressers.
Someone was making fun of you in the comments, saying if you can't pronounce it, then you shouldn't be able to go.
Cavalheiro. Maybe. Anyway. Okay. So any questions about Portugal this morning? Do stick them in the comments. I think Pierre was asking something that we can return to. That's really good. Thanks, Pierre, for that. And I need to find my place. Zombie apocalypses. We've done that. Oh, this is very nice, Capricorn 12. Chris. Ask the universe. I picked up a stone from a building site in the Algarve and put it in my pocket. I promised myself one day I would have a place in Portugal. I've kept that stone and now I have a place. I think magic like that can really work. I mean, what's the harm? It seemed to work in that instance, didn't it? I mean, don't pick up too many stones, because that's going to look weird, isn't it? But that seemed to work in that regard there. And this thing on Memrise, learning Portuguese, we've been doing this thing, Michael, since we last saw you, where we have 15 minutes a day. We've been getting people to commit to doing 15 minutes a day, rather than letting it drift. You know how it is when you learn.
That's great. And it's very achievable, isn't it? It's a very achievable amount of time.
Well, there, and you get the look from Mia. Did you do your 15 minutes of Portuguese?
Oh, she's got that look to a T, hasn't she?
Hasn't she just? And so has Philomena got this look. We do bang from Philomena, and then occasionally, just especially for me, when I say Gazaleo instead of every time I see that when I'm filling up, I'm singing inside my head Gazaleo, Gazaleo, and it's Gazolio, of course.
Yeah.
And this is what I get when I say that from Philomena as well. So we've been doing that, and Matty's saying, there's a weekly, monthly, possibly an annual. I can't remember all the brackets. Week, month, and all-time categories in our Memrise group. Good Morning Portugal have got their own Memrise group, and now on Memrise, and there's a bit of a leaderboard, and the weekly resets every Monday. So if you're a competitive type, you can do that in Memrise. You don't bother to formally learn anymore, do you? You've got enough under your belt to keep going with the Portuguese?
Yeah, I mean, you always learn new. I mean, I think any language is infinite, right? Even if you're a native speaker, there's always words and expressions that are being added to the language, but also that sometimes have been right under your nose, and you're like, oh, I've never heard that word before. I didn't know what that word meant, and then you kind of find out. So, no, absolutely, mate. I'm always learning new Portuguese. I would say, the conversational Portuguese, the Portuguese I use to do business, the Portuguese I use, to chat to my barber, talk to friends. I'd say that it gets to a point probably after a few years where you kind of stick to the same, kind of way of speaking. But I'm always learning new Portuguese for sure.
Mm.
And I still try and read as much as I can, especially the news in Portuguese.
Okay.
That helps. I know there's a lot of news online now that you can read in English, which is great when you're first arriving in Portugal, because that's really helpful. But I would say, it's really important to read. Obviously, listening and watching Portuguese is great as well, but reading, I think that's where you can kind of learn the language, because sometimes if you're trying to listen or watch Portuguese television early on in your time learning the language, then it can be difficult because of the pace in which they speak at, and the way they close off vowel sounds. But if you read it, then it helps to connect the dots. It's a bit like if you watch with Portuguese subtitles as well. I find that helps as well. But reading it, you'll kind of like remember, oh yeah, that's the word that I keep hearing that I didn't know what it was, and then you read it, and then you remember it.
Well said.
So
Yes,
reading the paper, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes every day, is a great way to help build up your vocabulary.
Which one would you recommend to the newbies?
There's one called, I don't know if you can get it in the whole country. There's one called Oje. I think it used to be called Oje. I don't know if it still circulates or not. I haven't seen it for a while, but it's like I think it's called Oje, and it's like it's like meant to be a newspaper that you can read in 10 minutes, and it's just like 4 pages. It's just like a summary of all the news. So maybe someone can help me out if it still exists or not. I haven't seen it for a while, and I don't know if it's nationwide. But then, if you like business news, you've got Jornal de Noticia, you've got Jornal de Negocios, you've got Jornal Económico, Jornal de Noticia, and then you've got Expresso, which is the most read paper in Portugal. Yeah,
that's tabloid style. So is it kind of quite chatty and informal?
Not really. No, I don't think so. I don't think they really have, like, tabloid doesn't really exist as far as I'm aware in Portugal anyway.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And have you crossed that threshold now? I mean, I often talk about this is, what I like about not having a very good grasp of the language is I can't hear people moaning in public places and understand what they're saying. Because if I'm on a crowded place, a pub or a bus or something or a tube in London, I can hear what everyone's saying and I can hear them moaning about things. I don't understand that when it's going on in Portugal. When you hear other people speaking in public now, are you on top of everything they're saying with your grasp of the language?
Yeah,
you are.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, unless someone's speaking ridiculously quickly. But normally I can understand everything now. And that wasn't overnight. That took me a while. I mean, I've been here, 8 years nearly now. It took me at least 2, I would say, to be able to do that.
Take my hat off to you. Fantastic. James, this is a booking. Great. You'll be joining us next Thursday to hear about your journey to Portugal. That's fantastic, James. Been here a month now. And we'll hear all about your preparations and how it was for you. Very useful information for other people. Is Movember, so ask anything about Portugal, is Movember a thing in Portugal? Are people doing the tash thing here?
I haven't seen it, to be honest, mate. I mean, I think there must be, the odd person still doing it, but not really. I mean, is Movember still a thing anywhere? I think that's a bit 2014, isn't it?
Oh, okay. You like your fundraising a bit more contemporary, do you?
No, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? I don't know. I just think that I didn't realize it was still a thing. I didn't realize people were still growing patches in November.
Well, I'm up for it because I've got to start here. Although I was going to have a decent haircut and really get the stubble down. And although maybe it's not the right thing, maybe we should go in the other direction in the winter. We'll see anyway. Because what I need to do when I go to the barber is I ask for what I think I want, and then they give me something different anyway because of the language barrier or whatever.
Because of the language,
yeah, and then I'll do the rest to suit. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get a tattoo this time as well, accidentally on the back of my head or something like that. They might misunderstand me, and I'll come out with a Sporting Lisbon tattoo on my neck. Unfortunately, we're talking about shift patterns, and unfortunately, I rarely make midnight these days. Okay, so shift work is not for Ian. Have you ever worked shifts, like nights?
Yeah, I used to work in a hotel years ago, like 20 years ago. I used to do night shifts.
Did you like it?
On reception, it's weird because you end up. See, there's two types of people who work night shifts. This is what I discovered at the time. You have people that, let's say you start work, because I used to do 11:30 at night to 7:30 in the morning, right? So
Yeah.
I would finish my shift at 7:30, and then I would go home and sleep. And I would wake up at like 2, 3 in the afternoon, and then I would, eat, and then chill, and then go to work at 11:30 and sleep at 7:30. And then there are other people say, no, you shouldn't do that because you're effectively waking up and then awake for 6 or 7 hours and then working 8 hours. So what you should do is when you finish your shift, reincorporate yourself in the society as if you were, finishing work in the evening, go for breakfast, go to the gym or whatever, and then sleep later, so that when you wake up, you have a shower and go to work. You see, so those are the two variants I see. But I used to just go to sleep.
Interesting. Yeah, because you were thinking, okay, I've been up all night, I need to go to sleep now. Very interesting. All right, and Matty was talking about his job. This was a terrible shift pattern of 6 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, and then 6 in the afternoon to 6 in the morning, and then a day off, and then back to the same trio again. And it was a job during a summer break from university for BASF. I don't know how you call that BASF, BASF. They used to make cassette tapes, didn't they? It was a plant.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so that predates Movember. Job was to fill cardboard boxes with 180-degree plastic out a pipe. That sounds like that whole job and shift pattern sounds like a real test for any human being, is what I'll say about that, Matty. Talking of staying up late, and you might have something to say about European football. Michael, you were, of course, our coverage. You and your mate, whose name escapes me now. Who was your pal?
Richard, of course,
doing the World Cup coverage. How is he? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. We still haven't started our football podcast yet, but we have everything set up to start probably later this month, hopefully.
You know where I am if you want any help with that. I have to make midnight now because all the soccer games from Europe end around then. No, not watching soccer isn't an option. Wow, okay. So what have you got a view at the moment? Are you enjoying the season?
Yeah, I mean, which country are we talking about? I mean, it's been fascinating, hasn't it? I mean, obviously,
I'm thinking Ronaldo. Cristiano back at Man United. How do you think that's going?
I mean, he saved them last night. So he scored 2 goals against Atalanta. They were done, and he basically saved them. And now there's a lot of controversy around the manager at Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether he will keep his job, but. It's interesting because there was a Portuguese manager managing Tottenham called Nuno Espírito Santo, and he got sacked, and they replaced him with Conte, who's this Italian, very divisive figure, but a very good manager. So there's been a lot of movement in terms of players and managers, especially in the Premier League this year, and it'll be interesting to see what happens, because we've now got in England sort of 5 or 6 elite managers, and then obviously Newcastle getting that huge investment from Saudi Arabia as well, which was controversial. So I think we're now in danger in England of having this Super League. They're almost like sort of villains from like James Bond kind of films with all this money, but they can't all win, right? They can't all win. So there has to be 20 teams in order. It can't, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then in Portugal, I mean, it's been interesting as well. Benfica, I think, didn't do very well last night. I think they lost to Bayern Munich 5-2, I think. It's
Sounds
always
like a good match. Yeah. This is what I want to ask you, because you know what it's like. It's a bit of a Marmite subject, football, isn't it? As soon as you and I start talking about football, which I know very little about, as you know, but I'm very happy to talk about it. However, what we should say is how important football is in Portugal. And your advice to a newbie here in Portugal when they are asked what team they support, because they should pick one. They shouldn't say, I'm not very interested in football. That will not go down well in the conversation. So who would you recommend? Who is the Man United of Portugal, if you see what I mean?
I'm old school, right? So my view is you should always pick the team that's geographically closest to you, and then don't pick the biggest team either. I mean, I made that mistake because I ended up picking Benfica, but there was a reason I had for picking Benfica, which I won't bore everyone with now, but there was a very good reason why I did. But they were also the team that were geographically closest to my first apartment, so I felt like I was being fair. Yeah. So I would say, if you can avoid just picking Benfica, well, it depends where you live, but let's say you live somewhere like Tondela, don't pick Porto. Pick Tondela because they play in the Primera. They have a beautiful kit, yellow and green, like Norwich City, fantastic. And they're a club with a lot of history. So, it's like I've always tell this story, is one of my good English friends who's been living in Portugal for about 25 years. He's called Phil. He moved to Portugal in '96, and he decided to pick a smaller team, who ended up winning the Portuguese league in 2001 for the first time in their history. So he had an experience that nobody has ever had. Coming to
meteoric success.
Yeah. So I don't know. Those of you will probably remember Boavista. Boavista were a team that had never won anything in Portugal, and they had this very unique kit because it's like it was like a the checkered flag in Formula One when they the Boavista kit is literally like a checkered flag. It's just black and white, like a chessboard. It's the most unique. It's the most unique kit in football.
Upsets the opposition as well. Like visually, as a player's coming towards you with a checkerboard on, you're not quite sure what's good.
Yeah, exactly. And Boavista is like the second team in Porto. So my friend Phil, he arrives in Portugal and he thinks, right, I'm not going to pick Benfica. I'm not going to pick Porto or Sporting. I'm going to pick Boavista because I like the kit. They're a small team. And then they just had this meteoric rise where they won the Primera. I think they finished second another year around sort of the early 2000s. They beat Manchester United in the Champions League. So they had a great European run as well. I would say even if you're not into football, pick a team, but pick a team that's really supported well by the local community. Because my first choice before I picked Benfica was going to be Belenenses. Okay. Because Belenenses are like a smaller club in Lisbon, and they won the Euro. There are only 5 teams in Portugal who won the first division, and they're they're the 5th one, and they won it in 1945, I think, or 1946, and they were the first team to play Real Madrid at their Santiago Bernabéu stadium in a friendly because they were the Portuguese league winners, and I believe that Salazar may have confiscated their stadium because they were the only team in Portugal that time who were playing on a grass pitch. So they had to move to this other beautiful stadium that they have now, which is like on this old quarry site, which if you ever go there, it's worth going because the view is amazing. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I didn't end up picking them because I found out subsequently that their fan base was very weak, that it had a very bad following, that they would never get more than 3,000 or 4,000 people watching a match, if that. Yeah, okay. So no atmosphere against it. So I would say, definitely think about it because it's a great way to, like we were saying, to have conversations with taxi drivers, your barber, whatever.
Well, that's it. If you want to know which team to support, Michael will be able to help you this morning. So give us your location. And we'll come up.
Let's do that. I will look at it on the map for you right now on Google Maps, and I will tell you which team.
Because it's not a good look. It's not a good answer to say if when a Portuguese person asks you, the taxi driver says, who do you support? I mean, you may have a team from where you come from, but even if you do, it's worth having a Portuguese team that you're going to support up your sleeve, and Michael can help you with that this morning. Okay, I don't know what people in the Algarve do, like Chris.
Well, you've got Faro, and you've got they're in the second division, but then you've got Portimao who play in the first division. So there are teams.
Yeah. Portimao might be someone to follow then. After meeting Carl the Jedi, I now know I need a bigger stone. That is not the stone you're looking for. In actual fact, I need about 3 bigger stones. I see. Yes, this is my advice. Is like if for people who can't figure out where to live in Portugal now, Michael, I just say you need 3 places, and probably 1 in the north, 1 in central, and 1 down south. Yeah. So Silver Coast, Nazaré, and San Martin de Porto. Ask the universe again. Why not? Abel says I feel more Scottish at this moment and time. My Portuguese is probably as good as yours, Carl. Oh dear, Abel. Rebel Mama, hola bon dia, quarta-feira. Rain seems to be gone, but chilly. And we have our first wood stove fire yesterday. So up in the north, I don't know which football team you might support, Rebel Mama. I suspect you might say you're not following one, and you may be able to be the first person who we can help. Possibly Braga, right? Long time since I've had to use wood heat. Pain in the, but it works lol. I bet that was lovely. Good for roasting your chestnuts on there, of course. Carl, I think you need your NIF and proof of registration residency. Of course, it goes without saying, take your NIF anywhere you go. And that was for Pierre. Pierre was asking Michael about what you need to register at your Centro de Sol for somebody who is a EU citizen. So I said, your ID, your residency document, and that's a good, obviously a good thing to take along, your NIF as well. Anything else you'd add to that list?
Proof of address and your passport.
Okay, there we go. Yes, proof of address, that's the important one, isn't it? So you are at the correct Centro de Sol. Sorry, Carl, I meant the little jingle you have for the drink. The Portuguese there sounded... Yeah, I thought it was Italian at first. I think you and me, Thunder, need to work on that. Louise there, you are crushing it on the leaderboard at Memrise. Shame you can't see the group on the app. I rarely go on desktop. Duolingo has a Klingon section, so it's a disgrace it doesn't do European Portuguese. You can learn to speak Klingon with Duolingo. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Michael?
I didn't know that.
The criticism of Duolingo is that it's Brazilian Portuguese and not European, as Eusebio is pointing out there. We call him the Prof, Michael. He comes up now with this day in Portuguese history. Before you arrived, back in, I think, the early 2000s, a leotard-clad Madonna opened up the MTV Music Awards hosted in Lisbon. Thanks for the GMP invite. I would love to join perhaps after my SEF appointment. Yes, Victoria, we will wait for you. Thanks, Carl. Those rocks are on top of Simonside Hill in Northumbria, northeast England. So, Pierre, I hope we've got all the info you need for you getting your SNS number. Bon dia, Gumpers. Have a great day. What do you think of this, Michael? We've taken to calling ourselves Gumpers here. The G, and the M, and the P from Good Morning Portugal has a collective noun that's come up as Gumpers. What, have you got a view on that?
Not at all. I mean, if it works for everyone, then who am I to say, not to use it?
Well, the bumper sticker works, doesn't it? Gumpers do it every morning.
Yeah, Gumpers do it every morning. Very good. Yeah.
Okay. And that is a greeting there from Terence Austin, who I'm hoping will... will read out his excellent blog about picking olives. He's an artist, and as you might imagine, it's a bit like having Oscar Wilde entering into the olive grove, and rather than picking a whole load of olives, which is really what you're meant to be doing on olive picking day, he's just musing about the beauty of the olives. I think possibly a better artist than an olive picker, but I want him to read it out in his lovely warm Brummie accent, and we'll share that with you on the show. So how's that going, Terence? And lots of love to all the Austins there. Hiya, Khadija. Sarah Exton. Say hello, Sarah. Bondi, I just did join the Memrise group, did 30 minutes yesterday and dreamt about it all night. Well, that's great. Starting to dream in or about Portuguese. That's good progress, I would say. Antonio F is here. Bon dia todos. Oh, that explains it. That's one that goes off regular here in Alcobaça. I wasn't sure if I should be hiding under the table. Can you guess what that is, Michael? I don't think you were here when we were talking about that.
No.
That is, you're going about your business in Portugal. You're quite new here. You're walking down the street, and then suddenly, and you're not really sure what to do. You think that's the 5-minute warning or the zombie apocalypse. And it's just the Bombeiros testing their alarm. Have you never had that where you...
No,
was it my son?
No,
that's because you're a metrosexual, metropolitan guy, isn't it? You've lived in the swanky parts of town, I think, and you've not experienced that. I want to see your face when it happens for the first time. Then you have to come and see us, and we'll go out just before lunchtime and see if it seems.
I hope it's gentle.
Ask anything. Is it just me? In my brief and limited experience so far, or do the Portuguese tend to interrupt and talk over people in conversations? Slightly controversial, but I'm glad you asked. What do you think of that, Michael?
I think it may appear that way. I just think that it's. I think it's like this in other Romance languages as well, like in Spanish and Italian. It's just like the volume and the speed and the passion of regular speech, which we don't get in English, for example. I think it can appear that way. But I would say, I mean, in general, when I've been in business meetings, I think they're very good at waiting for their turn to speak. But if you're having a conversation on the street with someone, then probably it might seem like people are talking over each other. But I think it's just a more animated way of regularly speaking that we're not
Yeah.
used to.
So far, this happened to me quite a bit. We do. I'm trying to have Elra interrupt James mid comment there, but
Nice.
he's saying I'm getting a lot of it. But practice managing my ego and just listening. Oh, I see. So you're a bit affronted by the interruptions, possibly there. Triggered. Every day's a school day, and and Elra says yes, we do. She's owning that, and I think I've seen that, and I would agree with you. It's not a rudeness; it's a cultural thing.
It's cultural.
And and also the disagreeing about things. I've noticed similarly. It's not an attack of anyone's ego. It's just a healthy expression of a different opinion, isn't it? And I've got Portuguese friends who say, "Well, that's not true." Straight, I mean, you wouldn't dream of saying that to an English person. You and I on these sessions, Michael. I mean, we might know each other enough to say you're talking nonsense, mate. But even that is has a little bit of an edge to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Whereas Portuguese people seem to do that to each other all the time. That's not true. And if especially if they're family, it's like no, that isn't right. And then they'll tell you what is right, and they'll be interrupting each other and stuff. And it's just purely cultural, nothing bad intended with that. But it takes a bit of getting used to, I think.
Yeah, it does. It does, and I've certainly experienced it as well.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily.
No. This is the advice from Elra. Just speak over them and integrate. Come back with it, and that might need to be a bit of a cultural sort of rewiring. Possibly, you might think, I can't be that rude, but go for it. Give it a go. We'll pay your bail. Bon dia, Michael from Simon this morning.
Bon dia. Bon dia.
Irish Bon dia from Flores del Aurelio. Very good. I think you guys like it over there. Sun shining again at last. And I did spot you recently. I was going at quite a speed. I think I saw you on the Atlantic Road there, enjoying the view there. Was that you? Was that the October folks party? And yes, this is where we got frozen. Bon dia tourists from Jim as well. Good morning, Jim. Look at this. All hail, Mike. Oh, I see. This is what went on, is it? When I went,
yeah. You're getting to the part now where you were.
Now it's yes, you're taking over. He's gone. She sounds a bit pleased about that.
Mate, there was a proper mutiny going on in the chat. I'm telling you.
Yes, Michael. Yeah, I'm seeing this now. I'm a bit shocked. I recently adopted 3 dogs, all male. Okay, this was the. Are you a cat or a dog person, Michael, or neither?
I would say I'm both. I can see the. I've never owned a dog before. I have owned a cat before, and cats are good company. Cats are very good company. Dogs are a bit more high maintenance, but then they're so loyal and they're so wonderful as well. So yeah, I think both. Both. I had a tortoiseshell cat as well, actually, funnily enough, years ago, and they're divas. They're proper divas. So Fiona will know if she's had one.
Well, that's high maintenance. I mean, people say cats aren't high maintenance, but in the moment they really are, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're not. They're not high. I mean, she wouldn't like. It wasn't high. It's difficult to explain it. Fiona will know exactly what I'm talking about. To anyone that's owned a tortoiseshell cat before, they're beautiful, but they are divas. But they're not necessarily high maintenance. They're just a bit diva-like. But they're hilarious. They're really fun.
She rightly points out she hasn't adopted a tortoiseshell. She's been adopted by a tortoiseshell.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. See, I misread it, but now that she said been adopted by, then now that tells you everything. They own everything. They think they own the house. They will strut around thinking they own the house, and they probably do.
And they probably do, yeah, exactly. 2 female kittens, that's going to be trouble. Both tabby girls, everything in balance.
Good luck.
3 and 3 there. Let's see how that goes. I can hear you. Yes, so I think you're managing this very ably, Michael. Hey, Michael, so funny, lol. Oh, and first snow this season, of course, it was in Serra da Estrela. And that's, of course, where the Vodafone ski resort. Not many people know that Portugal has a ski resort, and that's where it is.
That came up later, yeah.
Oh, did it? Right, okay. Hi, Michael, your show now. How quickly people change,
you have to watch it back, maybe. Yeah, I think I got a bit Machiavellian. I got a bit Machiavellian.
So with their encouragement, the power went to your head, and that was it. You didn't look back.
So, mate. Yeah, I think I was ready. I was ready to block you. I was figuring out how I could stop you from coming back here. No, it made me realize how difficult it is what you do. Honestly, like to just keep talking naturally without losing the flow. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Well,
So
you're getting a lot of encouragement here, and you did a great job, I can see. Apparently, a male cat walked on Carl's keyboard. That isn't what happened, but it could have been. I am not a great multitasker, so speaking over and listening at the same time just confuses me. Oh, I see. So, yeah, coming back at the Portuguese with that habit might be difficult. Well, practice makes perfect there, James, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bon dia, Michael. This is funny. Carl gone, and now we're talking about his hair. His wife dragged him off. Yes, that could have quite easily happened. No, it's a simple.
We may have spoken about your hair as well. I got through a lot of topics in 3 minutes.
Our territory was covered here. We get snow here in Peneda de Gerês, but not right at our house. I will post it. Oh, that'll be so lovely, Rebel Mama, if you can do that. If the first snow comes and you've got a picture of it, we'd love to share that on the show, and we will do more weather. We don't care about doing the weather during the summer because it's another nice day. It's another nice day. It's another, and it becomes
5 months of sunshine. That's what we've had, right, since July, basically.
Yes. So we'll start doing weather again so that we can work our way out of it and back to that 5 months again.
Is that why in England we love talking about the weather, because we have so much to talk about?
I think so. I think that's true. And I was wondering why I wasn't doing the weather, because it used to be quite an important part, and I would do weather requests. You know, I could actually go to somebody's part of the country and say, okay, I can do the Castelo Branco weather for you this morning and tell you what the high and the low is going to be. And then spring came, and in the summer we didn't do it at all, because all you had to do was just, okay, so lovely clear blue sky again. It's going to be warm, so it just didn't matter. But it does. I think it does again now. Antonio F. This is a very small fall, melted almost immediately. Okay, that was the first snow. Male cat. Scooter, male dog Finn, going into that little psychological test of people. Yes, Michael, you cannot post anything on the screen. Matty, my only friend, who was trying to stop you there, I think, whilst everyone else was encouraging you. Carl, you'll need to watch the recording. A coup d'etat! The rebels have taken. Is that really how you see me, as like some terrible bloated dictator? And it was, you know, the people were cheering from the ramparts as it was ousted, and Michael's got great hosting chops. All right. That was so funny. Well done, Michael. And I wonder what I looked like. So I was just hanging there frozen, and
you were frozen, and I couldn't work out whether it was you or me. But then, luckily, people in the comments told me it was definitely you. So I just ploughed on. I assumed that you were going to come back.
Unbelievable. Is there skiing in Serra da Estrela in winter? I think there is, because there is the ski resort there. A Vodafone. Ask in a Vodafone shop. Okay, Deborah Davies asking a question now. Drinking license question. Drinking license? I didn't know you had to have a license here for that. We're all provisionals. This is probably driving license. I hear that motorbike tests often get missed off the Portugal exchange of licenses. How can I mitigate against this? My motorbike license was hard won, and I'm not losing it. This is an unfortunate situation, and you're absolutely right, Deborah. People are losing their bike classifications and are being asked to retest. Do you know anything about this, Michael?
Yeah, and the GNR have been clamping down on it massively as well. They've been clamping down.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, everyone actually. I mean, I've seen them everywhere, like stopping people randomly all the time now. That never used to happen. So I don't know what they're looking for, what they're looking to clamp down on. But I have heard about motorbike licenses. People, they're clamping down on that massively. Yeah. So just worth being a bit careful about it.
It is, and we know that people with big bikes, you know, are very proud of their big bike status and the ability to ride one and so on. But it might be that you need to be retested. I can't be the bearer of better news than that at the moment, Deborah. And our best allies in this are the ACP, Automóvel Club de Portugal, and we can get you a discount on membership as one of the perks of being a premium member, which I believe you are. So it's not good news with that. And it's the same with people who've got HGV and public service vehicle licenses. They lose all of that. It's like you get your license wiped back down to the basics, and you have to retest with the local testing, because just in case it hasn't been mentioned today, you know, the UK is not part of the blanket conditions of Europe anymore. So I don't know if that's something Portugal wanted to do, or if it's a French bitterly inspired.
Whoa.
Okay, all right.
Let me stop you right there, man. Let's move on.
Carl, you shouldn't go to a cabeleireiro. See, it is a really difficult word, isn't it, for hairdresser?
Yeah.
Barber, is it caballero for men? and cabeleireira for women. Is that right? Is that the
I think
distinction?
so. I think
Yeah.
so, but don't quote me.
Well, I can't say it anyway, so it looks like I'm going to the barber. And I think I found yesterday, I think it was called the Barbecue Barber. And I wonder what goes on in there. So I'm going to go and find out today. So if I come tomorrow with my hair all singed, smelling of grilled sardines, you'll know that it's been a successful mission there. Good to know. This is about the interruptions. 5 minutes to go, everybody. We should. I could talk all day with Michael here, but we got 5 minutes. So if you've got a question, get it in. Not feeling affronted, mostly just noticing and curious. It's very different to what I'm used to, and that's therein lies the I suppose the potential friction here. It's just if you're not used to it, it's gonna affect you, isn't it? And I hope the comments today have been of some help with that. I've scrolled past quite a few things here that I want to go back to. Mention of Gumpers there, and a sudden influx of comments. And yes, football teams, this is really good. Let's get through these as quickly as we possibly can. Oh my goodness, we got loads here, Michael. How easy to get? Hola. I was wondering how easy it would be to get a work permit. I wondered about teaching English in Portugal as a part-time job. Would there be a need for native American English speakers? I think the job opportunities are fairly good with that, but you don't need a work permit if you're a resident. Or are you doing that as a visitor, hoping for a work?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. So Nubianet, nice to speak to you. If you're coming from the US, then you will need a work permit to be able to do that. But you can apply for a D7 visa, which I'm sure has been spoken about a lot before. And that's relatively straightforward, providing you can show proof of income. You can definitely look into that and apply for that at your local Portuguese embassy, wherever you're based. If you go there, they'll give you all the information you need. And I'm sure Carl can introduce you to people in the community, as can I, who can help you with that.
Yeah, and once you have your residency, some people think the D7, because it's the phrase passive income is used, that you can't work. It's seen by some as a retirement visa.
No, it's a lot of young people relocating to Portugal, like the digital nomads, as we refer to them, right? That are using that because you don't need to buy a property to have it. So in the past, you'd have to buy a golden visa, but now with a D7, you can rent a property, and it's very, very straightforward to do.
And you go to Finanzas and you register your activity and you can be working. So in terms of the permission to work, once you have your D7 and your residency, you're fine with that. Okay, so completely agree. Going back to the people you need to know in your neighborhood. Yeah, Matty's saying first, don't forget the local cafe where you should get your daily coffee. It's good to catch up with the locals. Completely agree. Regardless of the country, those are always the best people to strike up conversations with and improve your language skills. Thank you for that, Raphael. Not your average globetrotter. We need to get you on the show, I think, as well. My dad was a Lisbon taxi driver. Wow, in the 1950s.
Wow.
We need him on the show, don't we? Before he came to London. I wouldn't ask him for advice even without the meter on.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Talk the Street is doing a 30-day challenge. It just started. Today's phrase is onde fica casa de banho. Where will you find a bathroom? So that sounds good. And she's great fun, isn't she? Is that Carla I want Talk the Street, or is that somebody else? But that's one worth looking up for sure. Okay. What is Avanlight briefly, Michael? I tried going to the website.
It's mainly a consultancy that works with law firms, but we also work with individuals and companies looking to relocate to Portugal. So any help?
All right. Yeah. Chris, best 2 hours spent at a trade show. Yesterday, I went to WTM, the World Travel Market, spent my whole time on the Portugal stand. I hope you made some video, met so many people that covered the whole of Portugal. Great day out. Oh, that sounds good. What can you tell us? And back to the newspapers. Correio da Manhã is a kind of tabloid.
Yeah, true. Thank you for that.
If you want to give that a read, that might help you with your Portuguese posse. An alternative to Gumpers, I think. There, CMTV is a recommendation, I think, from Antonio F. Yeah, a copy of the newspaper's style. Shows the same crime 20 times in one day. That gives you the measure of it, doesn't it? Our guest tomorrow, Nick Robinson. Great show, Carl. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to talking to you as well. Be great to see you then, Nick. I actually posted a Movember vid this week. It's more about men's health now. Okay, including mental health, but still growing. no need to feel bad, Michael. If anyone wants to get involved, there's a link of the vid. Give us the link. Give us the link, Francis. I might shave my tash for that. Let's see, Michael, my kind of night shifter, which is. Just ignore the others; they know nothing. So, an endorsement of your style of night patterns there. Well, I was wondering how easy would it be to get. Oh, we did that one, didn't we? I'm so behind. I think the Wi-Fi problem here and the coup, the near takeover there, the false start to the People's Revolution on Good Morning Portugal has robbed.
It was like a virtual walking into the Parliament of Carl Munson with my gun in the air, and for 3 minutes, the coup d'etat was I took over the GMP for 3 minutes, and then it ended. But I enjoyed it.
He was like that guy in the White House with the bearskin on his head.
No, I wasn't. No.
I support Sporting. As approximately 25 years ago in the Algarve, a policeman asked my son who did he support. He did not know. And the policeman said Sporting, so he picked them, won the league and the cup last year. That's a great start. Michael,
it's unfortunate because it's a long wait. It was a long wait. It's unfortunate you picked Sporting, but there we go.
A long wait. There's a Benfica fan speaking. Have you got 5 more minutes, Michael? So we can
5 more minutes, mate. Yeah, let's do it. I was late, so I owe you that at least. And
everyone, and then you tried to take over, but it's fine. Yeah. Everyone learns language differently, but you said you could understand outside conversations after 2 years. How much did you actively study in the first year here? Great question, Rebel Mum.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky because I worked for a Portuguese law firm for 3 years, so I was constantly exposed to the language at work, and I made a big effort to talk to people outside of work in cafes, restaurants, and that kind of thing. So I found being exposed to the language and practicing speaking it, but more important, hearing conversational Portuguese every day. I didn't have many formal lessons, but just being able to absorb the language as much as possible. Eventually, my brain just managed to kind of connect the dots, and I would say that's the same for anyone learning a new language. And you're right, everyone does learn a new language differently and at a different speed. But I would say the quickest way to learn conversational Portuguese, being able to interact with people, understand it, and speak back to them, either in turn or not. As we've realized in Portugal, it's okay to sometimes speak out of turn. It's fine. The best way to do that is to just get out there and practice. And for me, it was about 2 years. But I say learning a language, and I speak Spanish, obviously English, I speak a bit of French, a bit of Italian. It's an infinite process. You can never finish. There's no, now I speak it. Even as a native, it's impossible. There's always new words being added to the language. There's always new expressions. There's, so it's an infinite process, and that's what makes it so beautiful, I guess.
Thank you, Michael. Are there football clubs in Setúbal, or is it soccer?
There are. You have Vitória de Setúbal, who also play in yellow and green. Another beautiful color combination, great club. In fact, Mourinho is from Setúbal.
Of course he is. So that's a few extra points there for you, Jeff. And say football. Don't say soccer, right?
Yeah, I mean we're okay with that now, but we prefer you to use football.
You have been spoken to. Nubian, I worked in a hostel when finished university, and there was a young colleague there from the UK. I know she didn't study anything to be a teacher, and she was accepted to teach. So that's looking good for you there, Nubian. Sporting Lisbon all the way, and then Celtic says that it's able of Portuguese ancestry, now living in Scotland.
And
here in Alcobaça,
the green and white that they've obviously chosen.
Yes, indeed. Here in Alcobaça. Sorry, mate, go on.
No, I was going to say. So Celtic won their only European Cup in Lisbon, I believe, and that's what they're called, like the Lisbon Lions. I may be wrong about that, but I've got a feeling that's somewhere at the back of my brain.
You're probably right. You're amazing with these things. Here in Alcobaça, we have a football team, Ginásio, but everyone supports either Benfica or Sporting. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Pierre, thanking you. That's great. Glad to be of assistance. And Jeff, Setúbal has a football club, Vitória do Setúbal, as Michael said there. What to take to the government office? Your firstborn. She's a bit bitter already about the motorbike thing, I think. Do street vendors roast chestnuts in Portugal? They absolutely do.
They do, and they're everywhere, and they'll be everywhere now. And please tuck in. It's cheap and it's beautiful, and you're really helping them, so do it.
Yep, the Gumper bumper sticker. They're on their way. People seem to like them. Football team in or near Ericeira, please, Michael.
Ericeira.
Got to be a Lisbon club, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd probably go Lisbon, but I will come back to you next week on that, James. If we have time, maybe next week, if there's more interest, we could put a map up of all the clubs in the
I
first and
think so.
second division.
I think we've stumbled on something there.
Right.
We should help. We should, because we were talking about an expat initiation, and part of that would certainly be picking a football team, wouldn't it? You need to pick a football team here in Portugal, and there might be more to do on that when Michael comes in once a month to look at how those teams are doing. We're total newbies, Michael, eager to learn from you guys, helping us connect the dots. So I think we've done that this morning.
That's what we're here for. I'm happy to have you here with us.
I don't think I can read that comment out, Andrew, without causing a diplomatic outrage. William, bon dia, all you lovely gumpers from Coleraine. I'm not a big football fan, only the national side, more of a rugby and motorsport fan.
Well, rugby is also a very big sport here in Portugal. So the rugby fan, definitely get involved in that as well.
Yeah, and not triggered, just cut off and no space to participate. Sorry, James. I just like using the word triggered. I'm sure you weren't. You're a man who can manage his emotional state, I'm sure. Carl, respectfully disagree, but you are right. That's good. I can't remember what about, but that's a Jedi mind trick, isn't it? I respectfully disagree with you, but you are right. What was that about, I wonder? She's messing with me there, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think she is.
And not attacked feels more like disinterest. Oh, I see. I think the Portuguese people are very interested in what you have to say as the lifeblood of the conversation, actually. And Dougie's here, everybody. Bon dia from Sagres, I think that will be. He's missing out his probably on the wine already there, if I know Doug. I find that people start to talk over each other as you get into the third hour of a meeting. It's better. Sunny, warm, the weather from Sagres, sunny, warm, and typically breezy. I've had dreams where conversations are in Portuguese too. No clue if what I say in them is right, though. But yeah, you can feel
that's a really good sign, Fiona, that you're becoming fluent if you start dreaming in the language. That's
okay.
Really...
Does this person need to speak to your manager? Andy's asking, when is Michael available for the man cave?
No, I feel so bad. I feel so bad because I keep getting invited to join the streams, and it's always on a Friday at 10, which is sometimes a bit of an awkward time for me. But I promise I will be on there soon. So thank you for that, Andrew. I will definitely be on there soon.
All right. Fab show, guys. Muito obrigado. Wishing a wonderful day to everyone. Okay, so we're winding up now. Nick Robinson, an amazing fit, paddle boarded the whole of the Algarve. This is a show I won't miss. I didn't know about that. I want to find out about paddle boarding. Yes, I like that idea. It's Liz who does Talk the Street, which is great. Thank you very much, everybody who's telling me that. James, you're too Anglified. Maybe a Californian thing. Oh, I wonder. Interesting. Get out there and talk to people. Says
there we go.
That's very direct, isn't it? From European Portuguese Resource Sharing. Is that from you, Pam? Under a different guise there. And put that football club map on the Expats Portugal forum. I think we're going to return to this, Michael. I think we have stumbled upon something really important there, that people should pick a team, and we can follow the program.
I'll prepare. If the map doesn't exist, I will make one and I will share it with everyone next month. And we'll have a proper analysis of it.
Excellent stuff. Okay, so the Heronius Maximus guide to Portuguese football and how to best pick a team.
In fact, I will say something else. I know that we've been sharing my email address with people, which is michael@avanlight.com, to talk about Portugal and all things Portugal. But if there's anything that anyone would like me to talk about specifically on the next monthly show, which will be the first Wednesday of December, please feel free to do so. And then if you have time, we'll try and go through it. That might be a nice way to engage with people. So yeah, feel free to email me if you have anything specific you would like me to talk about on the next show. But I think for now, talking about football might be a good one. We can put that map up, and then people can see where their nearest club is to where they live.
Even if you don't like football, this is a way to begin.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And especially if it's a smaller club, you're more likely to have access to everyone and be part of that community. Whereas if you do what I did, Benfica is great, but Benfica has over 150,000 members and a stadium with 65,000 people. So you're gonna see the best football in Portugal, the best players, but are you gonna have the most authentic experience as a fan of that local community? Probably not. So it depends what you want.
All right, Mrs. Capricorn 12 is a rugby coach, so we might have a similar effort. If she learns a bit about Portuguese rugby, we can help people with that as well. James, definitely. Answering your question, yeah, it's a big game here, isn't it? Any sport is big, and Portugal, of course, are the football Is it futsal? Futsal
Futsal.
champions.
World champions and European champions. Yeah.
Club
Absolutely.
Desportivo Mafra in second division, nearest to
There you go.
Ericeira. Thank
Thank
you for that,
you
Eusebio. Euro football for American football converts theme show. There we go. It's going to happen first Wednesday of next month, the first Wednesday in December. We will do that next time Michael is on the GMP. I'm done working and being busy packing and throwing away stuff for the move. So you'll be able to engage with us on that one on the first Wednesday of December. And finally, point, I have put some in UK license information or the exchange information on the forum, including license provenance. What is the provenance of this license? Is it locally sourced? Okay, well, thank you for that, Andy. That's really helpful because that is causing people quite a lot of pain at the moment. Thank you very much, Michael Heron from Avanlight.com. Contact him. See, there's the email address, michael@avanlight.com. And we'll see you again next month, my friend, with this football special. Thank you so much for being with us today. Great fun.
It's an 8:30 start, right?
Only for me. It's optional for you, really, my guess. What I'm thinking of doing is actually doing a bit of Portuguese news and weather now we're going into the winter. Maybe a little bit of currency as well, because people want to know about that. And then you can just stroll in as the new host of the Good Morning Portugal show, as you've become this morning at 9 o'clock. How does that sound? Yeah,
well, mate, if you ever need a break for it, I'll happily fill in for you. If you ever need a holiday, because I don't think you've ever taken a break in like, what, a year and a half from doing it every day?
No, I've done it from the train, done it from the holiday place, from the wonderful Martignol Resort recently. No, I haven't. You're absolutely right. So
you ever want a break, mate? And I'm being serious now. I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm going to plot to take over. If you ever need one, mate, and just want me to fill in, I'm more than happy to do it.
That's an amazing offer, and I may well take you up on that. Usually, when I've noticed this, when radio hosts go away, they pick someone who's really rubbish, so to make people. So I'm not sure about giving it to you for a week, but I really do appreciate. Carl, who is what's going to happen on my return?
No, definitely not.
All right, all the best, mate. Thank you so much.
Love to the family. Thank you, everyone. See you next month. Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for your questions. Ciao, ciao.